we're here in New Ulm at the Minnesota Music Hall of Fame Museum. We moved in 10 years after we were initiated as an organization. This place houses all the artifacts of the majority of a lot of our inductees. It's a wonderful museum to see with all the different artifacts. We had a festival back in many years ago. It was called Polka Days. Well, there was bands all over on street corners, but you had to be from New Ulm to play. In their high schools, a lot of your band directors played polka music as part of their repertoire, and a lot of the band directors were band leaders. Guy Leo, but he was in polka music. He was in big band modern. He was the school teacher, and he was also a band leader. There was a lot of musicians out of this town. It seemed like if your grandfather played, oh, you got to play an instrument. Fez Fritchie and the Goostown Band, and then there was Whoopi John Wilford Band. They had a large band. I want to say, if I'd have to guess, it was at least 12, 13, 14 musicians. You know, a full band of trumpets, clarinets, etc. And they were very busy. They played all over for all the festivals, all the ballrooms. There were so many ballrooms in the state of Minnesota. It was unbelievable. I want to say we estimated at one time there were well over 200 ballrooms in the state of Minnesota. That's just a low figure. The Hengel Concertina started actually not in town here. It was from, Waseca, that's right. This is where Christy Hengel was from, Waseca, and that's where he started building the concertina. Then he moved to New Ulm, maybe about between 3 and 5 years from the time he started there, and he continued his building here.
As I grew up, my family was involved in music, and my parents loved the old-time music, the polkas, and there were a lot of concertina players around back in those days, as there are today, but they're just not as well known. They kind of creep out of the woodwork when you have a fundraiser and they have a concertina jamboree. They come in droves. But there were a lot of old-time dances, and my father played in an old-time band, and we'd go along as children to the dance. And I became interested in learning the concertina because it was a popular instrument at that time. It is a little more difficult to learn than an accordion, a piano accordion, because when you push one button and pull, you get two different notes. As I got older and got a little more at ease with the concertina and learn more tunes, my dad always said to me, if you get good enough, I'll get you a Hengel concertina. This is the concertina that Christy made for me in 1970. I was just about to begin playing with the Ivan Kale Band from Norwood, Minnesota, and Christy wanted me to have my concertina for my first job, so he worked pretty steadily for 2 weeks trying to get it done, and I did get it in time for my first job with Ivan Kale Band. Having Christy in New Ulm was interesting. He drew a lot of people to this town. Just people would come and spend a day because Christy would talk and talk and talk, and he knew a lot of band people. He knew a lot of musicians. He Yeah, you had a hard time getting away from Christy when you went to visit him, but he did bring a lot of people into New Ulm. The Hengel concertina is, it is the Rolls-Royce, I feel, of the concertinas. There are a lot of band members that played and still do play Hengel concertinas. They're lightweight, they're lighter weight than a lot of concertinas. The action, the fingers, the fastness of playing, the staccato is there, and the tone is wonderful. Christy Hengel hand-filed each reed in the concertina and tuned it by ear, and he was fabulous at doing that. They would come from California, Texas, all over the United States to buy them. And to this day, if there's a Hengel concertina for sale, it is not for sale for very long because somebody will just jump on it. You might find a few used ones today, but the price is a lot higher than the original price. When I bought this in 1970, it cost $800. And today, I probably would not take any less than $12,000 for it because you can't get them anymore, not the ones that are made by Christy Hengel. You can play the concertina, and you've got your bass with it and your melody. You've got the harmony notes with it. You can sit and play it all by yourself, and you don't need another instrument. The concertina you can play by yourself, and it works pretty well.